Welcome to Marketplace Finds, where we show off some crazy and interesting cars for sale, judge what we think of the price, then order it in our tier list. This is a 1972 Honda Z600 that was once the baby of Honda's fuel-sipping economy lineup, ready to take Japanese families to the sun and back, that now rides high like it won a monster truck makeover coupon. The Honda body has been swapped over onto a Suzuki Samurai chassis, including the driveline, and for those who don't know, the old Suzuki Samurais were known for being great tiny off-roaders that can take a beating. Now having dual solid axles, this thing is ready for some hard tracks if you can stomach destroying the beautiful taxi yellow Tonka truck paint job it was built for. The seller says it goes 60 on the freeway, which is surprisingly considering a single tyre probably weighs the same amount of weight as that little engine. The interior has been spared no expense, looking immaculate with upgraded leather seats and a new dash just perfect for you to cover in mud on your first outing. The rear hatch opens up to dual subwoofers the size of trash can lids and probably has more bass than a catfish convention, and that would be because the owner reportedly spent $3,000 on that alone. Moving to the price, they are asking for a pretty penny, being around the $26,500 mark, and in all honesty, I'm not sure what this could be worth, but it does seem a bit steep, so let us know what you think in the comments below. These Nissan Altea owners never fail to surprise me on just how horribly they can modify a vehicle. This was a year 2004 that was once a practical 4-door commuter car that has now been reborn as a rolling cry for attention, dipped in candy magenta and airbrushed with enough anime cleavage to make your mechanic uncomfortable. Let's begin with the elephant in the garage, the hood. It features a full-color anime waifu mural, ensuring everyone to know that this car is owned by a neckbeard enthusiast or someone attempting to win a most cringe challenge. I want all the respect all build defenders to drive this around just for a day, just to prove they're wrong. Not only does the hood tilt, but so does your dignity when you drive it. As per usual, it's got Lambo doors in the front and suicide doors for the passengers. Unfortunately, there is no interior pictures, but as we can all see, the Barbie pink theme continues throughout, except for only the steering wheel. The seller's asking $8,500 for this mobile cosplay booth, but says all reasonable offers will be accepted. So don't be afraid to lowball $850 and a bootleg Sailor Moon DVD. Just for that hood cringe alone, I'm going to have to give this a clown sticker. This isn't a vegan IPA drinking Subaru, it's more like a warm bush light after waking up in a stranger's front yard. That line is straight from the seller's listing. I might need to hire him to write my scripts. This vehicle surprisingly isn't being sold for scrap. Even more surprising is this is a Suzuki Swift from 1998. It's shedding weight like it's taking Ozempic with the amount of rust going on. The back roof has been chopped and replaced with wood paneling for some extra storage space, and they've even left the chainsaw in the back in case you want to finish the job. Bonus points for the 1-ton sticker in the back. There's a smokestack pushing its way out the hood like it wants to spike the ozone layer for maximum damage. The interior is shockingly clean. The gear stick is literally a stick and doubles as repair materials for the back wall. It's got the 1.3 litres of fury and 85 God-fearing horsepower, all being force-fed through 3 working gears, 1st, 3rd and 5th, as second gear packed up and left in 4ths in witness protection, listed at $1,000 or a trade for a Bugatti or Ferrari. Shockingly, it's already been sold, which I'll assume means he managed to land himself that Ferrari. This thing looks like it got lost on its way to a Tokyo vending machine and ended up bagged and tagged in Oceanside, New York. It's a 1996 Honda Acti street van, slammed to the pavement with just enough body damage to let you know it's been drifted through an empty car park with the Tokyo Drift music playing. The bento box license plate is a nice touch and describes the boxy car perfectly. The gold mesh wheels with purple spikes make it look like a Japanese battlebot. The green pinstripe on the original grey paint is a nice touch. The side exit step bars give it that mini truck flex, though you'll probably only use them after hotboxing the van. At night, the purple underglow is great for finding your ride after too many Asahis. The interior keeps the purple theme going with the Starlight Galaxy roof, surrounded by speakers and a subwoofer strapped to the hardwood floor. There's enough space to roll out your futon, lay down and pretend you're in the middle of the Japanese EDM scene. Now here's the kicker. The seller says it just needs the clutch bled, which we all know is Craigslist code for it's going to cost you your entire weekend and your month's paycheck. $6,500 would be a good price if it didn't have that major red flag. It's a price to tempt you into making it your own problem. This 1977 Volkswagen Bus got abandoned in the mud at Woodstock and never made it home. It's got peace and love plastered all over it, but in person it looks like it's been hijacked by a cult that eventually got raided by the FBI. This is what happens when your anti-war message loses the war against rust. The only peace in this thing is the moment of silence when it won't start. Rust is included at no extra charge and has taken over more territory than the British Empire, The rainbow paint job could also just be mold. There's peace signs all over it, but I wouldn't feel safe walking past it at night. Inside is exactly what you'd expect. It looks like a rolling petri dish. It has a built-in security feature with the smell. If you light sage inside it, the ghosts of failed bands will ask you to leave. It was a terrible idea to take photos at night. It only makes the bus feel more ominous. The seller says it runs on starting fluid, which means it doesn't run. It's listed for $3,500 or a trade for a 60s or 70s Impala project. Honestly, that's a hell of a deal if you're trying to film a student horror movie. At one point in time, this was a beautiful 1939 Studebaker pickup. This ain't your grandpappy's farm truck anymore. This thing's been reimagined, reworked, and repainted so hard, it barely looks anything like the original. It's wearing a fresh new two-tone yellow and white paint job. It's so glossy, you could floss your teeth in the reflection. And the front end has been rounded smoother than a bowling ball in a sock drawer. I know these things didn't have the most beautiful looking front end originally, but I'll let you guys argue if this is any better in the comments. Underneath the beak, I mean hood, we have an upgraded 4.3 V6 engine alongside some goodies, so it has plenty of power to blow up the ancient rear diff. Opening up the hard lid, you're greeted with a beautifully finished wood slat floor, which is a nice retirement for this truck probably after hauling animals and dirt for the last 60 years. The interior has a full wood grain dash, modern odometer gauges with polished brass bezels, and even new speakers and radio to match. The seller is looking for $70,000, and don't get me wrong, these are extremely rare vehicles and a lot of work has been done, but I just don't think it's worth that much yet. This Tercel got its second chance and spent it becoming a hydraulic powered, obscure art piece with some of the weirdest tastes we've seen. It's glistening in enough gold metal flake and candy paint to cause retinal damage on a sunny day with red and purple striping all over it. I have no idea what else to call the odd design choice. The only thing I could possibly relate it to is on the bumper here where it says Wishmaster, which I can only assume is a reference to the movies, and if I had a wish, it would be to make me forget ever seeing this whack paint job. On the windshield, it's got a window banner calling it One Bad Creation, which probably isn't the nickname of the vehicle and more of a warning label. On this inside, we're greeted with a half-gutted interior, missing all the carpets and passenger seats, but at least you get to inhale the fumes of the 4 lead acid batteries sitting in the back while going for a drive. And we can't forget the classic grandma's couch from the 70s upholstery covering the door cards that probably even come with the same musty smell. At least the owner isn't after an absurd amount of money, only wanting $4,000 for what realistically might be one of the last standing Tercels that has been somewhat taken care of. I honestly had no idea what this vehicle was until I read the listing name, and I'm going to guess most of you have no idea either. No, it's not some even uglier version of a Plymouth Prowler it seems to be copying, but it happens to be a year 2000 Chevrolet S10. Yes, you heard me right, a Chevy S10. The same truck that was once a compact pickup for chain-smoking contractors and teenage burnout kings has now been reborn as a chop-top, wide-body, pre-war street rod, cosplaying as a Hot Wheels car with trauma. And what's even worse is that it's unfortunately done super well. Let's be real, that front end, the cut and molded roof, and the rear tub have obviously had an insane amount of time put into it, and the paint looks immaculate. It just happens to be, at least in my opinion, pretty damn ugly. As the seller didn't put any details in the description, I'm just going to pray it had the V6 or even better a V8 swapped in, but for all we know it could still have the 2.2 in it, which has barely enough power to mow your lawn. There's only one picture of the interior, and again, as you can see, it is beautiful really. It matches the exterior perfectly. It just leaves me with so many questions as to why this model of truck. Moving on to the price, you're in for a bit of a shock, as let's be real, most S10s these days are down in the 4 digits. However, for a custom one like this, the owner is looking for a whopping $45,000. That's right, for the price of a new Silverado, you could be riding in this red glittering monument to mid-2000s custom culture. Introducing the 2009 Hummer H2 Stretch Limo, a 40-foot long cry for help that's an endangered species representing the early 2000s nightlife scene. Let's be real, this thing isn't a limo, it's a mobile zip code, and you'll need Google Maps just to find the other end of it. And good luck trying to make any turns unless you plan it 3 blocks ahead, because this thing has the maneuverability of a freight train. Step inside and you're immediately assaulted by the scent of vape juice, spilled vodka, and STD scented seats. The disco floor lights up like a cracked iPad, the ceiling glows like a low-budget spaceship, and the leather interior looks like it was upholstered by a blind person making an art project. Whoever is hiring this thing out has probably been on an episode of Maury, and you can guarantee to hearing at least one argument about child support before it hits second gear. The seller is looking for $36,000, which, considering it's probably going to rust and snap in the middle in the next 5 years, I'd probably stay away. Venom was supposed to take over Spider-Man, but instead it's taking over a salvage title. This 2018 Dodge Charger is fast enough to get wrapped around a tree and still show up to Cars and Coffee like nothing ever happened. Venom might protect his host, but it let its last one get folded like a beach chair. This Venom themed wrap is honestly clean, like too clean, but it still feels like putting a tuxedo on a burn victim and calling him James Bond. Including photos of the crash when you're trying to sell it is a bold choice, but I have to respect not trying to hide it. It has red halo headlights, fake cop lights, and custom red accented wheels. If Venom is a parasite, this build is the full tapeworm experience. The seller brags about a Mishimoto radiator, new suspension, water pump, basically a parts list of everything they had to replace after the wreck. They threw a $2,000 wrap on it and started writing Facebook Marketplace poetry. Every dollar spent past the insurance payout was a red flag. You're not rebuilding a car, you're reanimating a corpse. They want $20,000, which is a big gamble to take on a fully rebuilt car with no interior photos. Ever wanted to go ripping up the dirt trails straight into crawfishing within the same hour? Well, do I have the vehicle for you? It's a Hisson quad ski, a bizarre hybrid between a four-wheeler and a jet ski that looks like a Bond gadget designed on Wish, but I kind of love it. Even the low quality videos I could find of it shows it driving way better than what I'd ever imagine. Just turn a blind eye to some of the comments talking about how unreliable they are, and you'll love it. This unit was pulled from a storage unit in Alabama, which honestly tracks, and unfortunately since being stored, it needs a tune-up to get it running. They obviously don't traverse land and water as good as a normal quad or jet ski would, but considering the owner is only looking for $4,500, you really can't go wrong if you're not looking for something too extreme. Quad skis like this new go from anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000. So at that price and just needing a little refresh, I'm going to give it our garage gold stamp of approval. Here's your one-way ticket to going on more golf trips. All you have to do is hand over a bag of money and let your girlfriend do hot laps around the golf course and pray she doesn't start flirting with the cart boy. What you're looking at is a mid-1980s Elmco Royal Ride golf cart styled like a Rolls Royce. Except instead of pulling up to a gala, you're pulling up to the 9th hole with a white claw and 2 pink dice swinging in your face. The spirit of ecstasy sculpture is still hanging on, but instead of luxury, it's giving eBay. The exterior is still in great shape, which isn't surprising considering it spent most of its life making figure eights around retirement villages and Chardonnay-fueled brunches. Despite only having 2 previous owners, it's probably had a whole lot more passengers riding it, as it's been nicknamed the labour of love. It's got a fluffy pink steering wheel, which is one of the best excuses for making your wife drive. A cooler in the back with space for plenty of bottles of rosé. The Bratz Doll Parade float was listed up for $5,500 and someone has already snapped it up, so clearly that was a great price. Thanks for watching another episode of Garage Gold. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe. If you find your own interesting or weird car, you can send it to us on Instagram. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.